Hello, good morning, good afternoon, welcome, welcome. Hi Denise, how are you? Okay. My issues are resolved. I use a lot of apps for doing this, my live stream, and the app that I use on my phone to film my desktop is free. Well, it was free, and all of a sudden today when I logged in, I had a watermark across the middle, and it said if I wanted to remove the watermark, I had to pay for it. So, and it wouldn't let me move the watermark. It was like right across the middle, so I had to go pay for it quickly. It was only about $5, but oh no. Well, glad you're feeling better. That's good. Let's see, you've got a few other people. Let me know who's here, where you're from. Sorry, it's just my hands today, but I just had a lot to get together at the last minute because I wanted to show you some new products, and I was still finishing off my my second card that I had to show you today, so it was just a bit busy. So I'll just wait for a minute and see if any more people hop on. Maybe they thought I wasn't coming today. Have a sip of water here. Okay, well, I will go ahead and get started, and hopefully some more people will join us. So hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you if you're watching on Facebook, and if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're catching the replay, thank you for joining me. So yesterday, of course, was the big day in Stamping Up world when our brand new catalogue went live. So finally I can show you inside. And today I'm going to be making a card. I have a couple of cards to show you actually with this bundle here, Sending Smiles. And I'll show you the card in just a minute, and then I'll show you a few new products before we make it. Here's the stamp set. So it has this nice big sending word, as you can see here, and then it has lots of little sentiments that you can add. So you can do sending smiles across the miles, sending all the good luck your way, sending birthday wishes. So really nice because you can mix and match, and then you can also put these sentiments inside. And there's some flowers, and here are all the dies. So for the word sending, you can, I'm going to show you on the card, but you've got like a shadow die, and then you've got the more delicate words. So a really lovely set, very kind of elegant and contemporary. So I'm really excited. Excuse me. And let me show you the card that we're going to be making today. Oops, all my bits and pieces here. So we're going to do a slimline card. So this is the card that we're going to be making. Slimline cards are very fun. And it's kind of like got a rainbow row of flowers. So that's the one we're going to be making. So just to whet your appetite. But before I get started on that, let me show you a few things from the new catalogue that you may or may not have seen. So we were able to, I've got an order coming in the mail tomorrow. I think I sent an order in yesterday. So that'll be coming tomorrow. But these are the things that I was able to pre-order. As a demonstrator, we can pre-order things before the catalogue is released. And that way we get to play with them a little bit and just enjoy them. It's one of the perks of being a demonstrator. So this Bottled Happiness stamp set is really fun. There's lots of different things that you can do with it. And there's different flowers that you can put if you want to make like a flower arrangement. And then it has a matching punch to punch out the bottle. And then what's fun too is, you can also get these little shaker kind of domes. And I don't know if you can see, but they're kind of 3D. And it matches the punch. So you could make a shaker card. You get them in a little box of, oh my goodness, the writing's really small. I think it's 10 in a box. I can't actually read it. Does the writing get smaller as you get older? I think it does. So then to put inside the shaker are these effervescent elements, and they look like kind of bubbles. And there's different sizes. Aren't those fun? So that's definitely on my plan, on my agenda, to make a shaker card with the bottles. I think that's going to be really fun. And then kind of along those lines of wine and drinks, there is, let's see, I've got to figure out how to arrange this so I can get to everything. This bundle called Brewed for You, which would be great for Father's Day coming up, or for all those birthdays for people that like beer or wine. So again, you can do wine or beer. And then there's some fun sentiments. I owe you one or several, another round for your birthday. Oh, ale, yes. And then there are font dies to go with that. So just a fun set, and there's kind of the inside and the outside of the glass, so you can do different colors for your drinks, and you can do your foam on the top, so really fun. So that's that one. And let's see. This stamp set I absolutely love. I love outline stamps that you can do all kinds of things with, because you can stamp and heat emboss the outline, and then you can do a emboss resist with sponging. You can do watercoloring. You can color in with your blends. There's lots of different things you can do with this. So I'm very excited to use this. This doesn't have dies, it's a standalone stamp set, but I think it's really beautiful. And I love that it's a big image too, so it'll take up the whole card front. And then just a couple of other things I'll show you, and then we'll move on to today's card. So this bundle, Happiness Abounds, is part of a suite, and it has this paper, this beautiful paper in that I will show you. Let's see, what page is that suite? I'm not going to worry about showing you the suite for right now, but I want to show you the cool stamp set and the paper. So we have stamps and dies, and of course there's dies that cut out the images, and then there's some standalone dies for like a pretty edging, decorative edging, and this beautiful kind of trellis. But then let me show you the paper. This is so cool how they've done it. So I'm just gonna pull it out quickly. Have any of you seen this paper? It's really lovely. So you get 12 sheets, 2 of each design, but some of them, so these are the same 2. So that's the back and the front, and we've got kind of a rainbow design here. And then again, this is the back and the front, and look at how they've done this. Let me see, is this the right way? Yes, this is rainbow colors, and then the reverse side is the rainbow colors that line up with it. So it's really cool. There's some that are more obvious. So this is back and front of this one. Again, we've got that lovely kind of rainbow look. And then this one is, I've seen lots of people make cards with this already. Look how stunning this is. This is lovely watercolor or oil painting kind of look. And again, this one has the background that matches with it. So you can see how you've got your lighter blue and your darker blue and purples and pinks that match up together. So I've got to think of some cool ways to use that. This one too, look at that. So pretty. I love when Stampin' Up comes out with these cool new ideas. And then there's so many talented demonstrators that come up with amazing ideas, to do with these new products. So I'm waiting to see if I have a good idea or who else has great ideas. And then the other bundle I was going to show you, which I really love because I love the colors. I know, isn't that paper gorgeous, Denise? It really is. I know it's lots of people's favourites so far, but we've only been able to order up until now a few of the papers. So I've put my order in for my product shares. So I've ordered the rest of the paper. So next week I'm going to cut it all down into 6x6 and in my little clear plastic things. So I'll be able to show you some more of them. And I have one spot left on my product share. If anyone's interested, you get a sample of every new designer series paper in the catalogue and every new ribbon, and you can buy the card stock bases to match. There's lots of options. So yeah, there's a link on my Facebook page. If you scroll down, you'll find a link to the information on that. All right, so this is Nature's Prints. Absolutely love this stamp set. Love the sentiments and the fonts. So pretty. And then this is the paper. Oh, and I forgot to tell you on that other bundle, the dies will cut out some of the flowers on the designer series paper too, which Stampin' Up does a lot these days. But let me pull out this to show you. So here's the back and front of this one, really pretty. And then here's the back and front of this one. So we've got mostly kind of neutral colors and then blue, which I love this combination of I think this is crumb cake or Sahara sand and blue, so really pretty. There's this one, the back and front. This is like dandelions, I think. And then we've got a more kind of abstract one and stripes on the back. And then look at this one. This would be lovely for something like a framed piece, wouldn't it? I have to think of something cool to do with that. And that's the back of that one. And then we've got more of these kind of lovely wispy dandelion type and ferny type things. And that's the back of that one. So pretty. So I'll have more to show you next week. But I just wanted to show you a few things. So, all right, so let's get started on the card. So here again is the card I'm going to make today. Zoom in a little bit maybe. So it's a slimline card, and I have the dimensions for you if you want to take a screenshot. So let me get all my pieces here. All right, let's see here. So I am using for the card base, I'm using one. Oh, I know what I need to tell you about. Okay, hold that thought. I got to tell you about the in color deal right now too. Okay, so Stampin' Up has an amazing, I'll just tell you really quick, Stampin' Up has an amazing deal going on right now for the in colors. You can get the in colors free with the starter kit until the end of May. And so what you get for $65, I'll zoom back out just a touch. For $65, you get each ink pad. So we've got Starry Sky, Tahitian Tide, Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, and Orchid Oasis. You get those 5 ink pads, and then you get an assortment of cardstock. So you get a pack of cardstock that has 20 sheets in, 4 of each color. So that's, if you used them as the card bases, you could do like 8 card bases from each color, so 40 card bases, or you could use them for matte layers and die cutting, obviously. And then you get a pack of this designer series paper, which I used for my team cards last month. So you get this pack of designer series paper, and it has all the in colors in, and you get 2 different designs for each color. You get this one that has the stripes on the back, and then you get this plaid one that has the dots on the back, and you get 4 of each. So you get 8 of each in, there's 40 sheets in here. You get 8 for each in color, 4 of each design. So you get, so it's and then you get a pack of grid paper, which I don't have yet to show you, but a pack of in color grid paper. So it's a total of $66.50. So When you get the starter kit, you get to choose $125 worth of products for $99. Your choice, free shipping, and then Stampin' Up! Is going to add in all these in color products, and they are worth $66.50. And then you get a paper pumpkin kit, and what else do you get? And some business supplies. But there's no obligation to do it as a business. Here's the team cards that we made. There's Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party, Orchid Oasis, Sweet Sorbet, and Starry Sky. Most of my team are hobby demonstrators or savvy shoppers, and in fact probably 90% of the company are that way, and Stampin' Up! Would not survive without its hobby demonstrators. So it's absolutely fine to just be kind of like a VIP shopper, I call it. Be in the VIP shopping program and get the discount and all this great free stuff. So if you'd like more information about that, please let me know. It's a really great deal, and I have a really fun team. We're called the Groovy Stampers, and we have a Facebook group, and we meet once a month on Zoom, and just inspire each other and encourage each other. It's just a really great group. Okay, so back to the card. I am using, what made me think of that was because I'm using Parakeet Party for the card base, and my post-it notes are almost the same too. So did you get all the measurements? There's the measurements. The card base is 8.5 by 7. So this measurement here is the width of your card base. And then what I do is I put it in my trimmer, and I do my score line first at 3.5, and then I cut off at 7. And you don't need to do any cutting the other way. So that's the card base. And then we've got a piece of basic black cardstock, which is 8 by 3. And then I'm actually using some shimmery white. I didn't on this one, I just used regular white, but I thought maybe for a change I would use shimmery white, because I always forget to use that. And that is 7 3/4 by 2 3/4. It's not quite as bright a white as the basic white, so I'm going to see if we notice the difference. Okay, so I've got, I'm going to do some stamping, and I've got a piece of, let me get a different color cardstock so that you can, let me get a piece of darker cardstock. Let me just use one of my ink colors here so that you can see better. There we go. So what I did to, I kind of had to plan this out, and it kind of evolved. It didn't start out like this. I had this idea that I wanted to do this kind of rainbow row of flowers, but I wasn't quite sure how I was going to stamp the flowers, and I'll show you in my other card how it kind of evolved. But what I did was I grabbed a scrap of copy paper first, and I kind of stamped out where I wanted I did my flowers first, and then I did the stems. So then when I came to do this one, what I actually did was I did actually stamp my flowers on here, kind of as place markers, because these are going to be all die cut out and put on, so you're not going to see that, but it'll give me a place marker. So I'm going to grab my, I'm grabbing some crumb cake ink, and I'm going to stamp though. I used crumb cake because I thought, well, one, it's not really going to show, but I thought if it did show a little bit, it would kind of look like just a shadow underneath. So I'm going to stamp my flowers, and I'm just going to kind of use this one as a guide. I'm just going to copy the positions. So, hi Christine, how are you? Good to see you. So I'm going to grab I'm using this, this stamp here, and I'm going to stamp first in crumb cake. So I'm going to kind of go off the edge a little bit with the first one. Just kind of about there. And it doesn't matter if they overlap a little bit, because obviously the flowers on the card are going to overlap. So we'll just do one like this. And one here. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as this one. And then this one I'm going to be kind of hanging off the top just a little bit. And this one a little bit lower. And then this one kind of hanging off the edge just a little bit too. Just a little bit lower. Okay, so I think that's good. So then I need to stamp, let me clean the flower off because we're going to need that again. And then I'm going to grab my parakeet party. So I'm going to need a couple. Let's see, parakeet party. And I'm going to stamp the stems. Now, there are a couple of different stem stamps. What did I do with the stamp set? I have buried the stamp set under everything. Here it is. Grab the dies too. So there's a couple of there's 3 different stems, but only 2 of them have the kind of skinny stem where the flower would be on the top. So I'm going to use these 2. So let me grab my stamps. So here's one, and then here's the other one. Now, just a couple of tips. When you're putting these on your blocks, if you're going to be die cutting them, make sure that you don't kind of distort them while you're putting them on your block. So what I tend to do is just kind of drop them onto my work surface with the stamp side down and then pick them up on my block. And that way I know it's going to be the same shape as the die. And you can manipulate them, and actually we're going to do that a little bit. So I'm going to start with my big stamp, and I'm just going to go in and stamp the stems, and I'm going to mess up my piece of cardstock, but let's see. Oh, that's okay. I'll use it for the back of something. So I'm just going to, and like I said, it doesn't matter if you're overlapping any of the flower images because we're going to be sticking the die cut ones over the top. So I'm going to do one like that. And I'm going to, let's see, do another large one. I'm going to kind of alternate how I want some stems going this way, some that way, some straight, and I can manipulate the stamp on the block a little bit. And let's do, I'm going to kind of go back and forth between the large and the small one. Do the small one there, and we'll do this one here, and we'll do this one here. And we'll do this one kind of around like this. Now, if I wanted to do, let me just show you, if I wanted to do, I'm going to just clean this off a sec. If I wanted to do this stem a little straighter and not curve so much, what I can do, zoom in a little bit more, is I can just move this on my block and kind of straighten it out a little bit. Now, if you're going to be die cutting, you can't do this because the die won't fit then. But I've just kind of moved it a little bit so it's straighter. So you can kind of manipulate them a little bit. Did I get them all? Yes. Okay. So that's the stems. Clean those off. Now onto the flowers. So this is where kind of things evolved a little bit. Where's my flower? Here. Let's see here. my bits and pieces. I'm a bit disorganized today. I got too much stuff here. All right, so now for the flowers, first of all, I tried stamping them on white cardstock, and I tried all kinds of different things, but I came up with an idea of embossing them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, and I'll tell you all the colors that I used. So let's put this all to one side, actually. So I've got Tahitian Tide, one of the new colors. I've got Orchid Oasis. So these two. I've got Daffodil Delight. I've got Polished Pink, Highland Heather, Pumpkin Pie, and Sweet Sorbet, which is another of the in colors. And you could use whatever you have, whatever cardstocks you have, or you could do them all just 2 or 3 colors, or just 1 color. You know, you can really do whatever you like. But I'd seen someone else, not a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, do kind of a similar rainbow one like this, and I thought it was pretty. I know in real life they wouldn't grow like that, but that doesn't matter. So I'm going to grab my Versamark ink, and we're going to do some heat embossing, but I'm using clear embossing powder. So I don't know if you can see here. I just stamped in clear embossing powder and then embossed, and you get this lovely, just kind of darker image. And then when you die cut, you get the lighter image around the outside. So, and you'll be happy to know that I have some die cut already, so you don't have to sit and watch me do all that. So I'm going to stamp. I've got my Versamark ink. I'm going to stamp one on each piece of cardstock. And you do want to make sure that your Versamark ink is nice and juicy. You can buy the refills for the Versamark pad. And so make sure that you keep your Versamark pad nice and inked up, because you'll get nice, better images then. And I'm just going to stamp. I don't know if you can see, but you do get kind of a darker image there. Just do all of them. The Versamark takes a while to dry, so you can actually do all of them. So I'm just going to go quickly. Hi, Kristen. How are you? Oops, I might have done that one too close to the edge. Let me do another one. I'm just putting them to one side, making sure I don't put them on top of each other. I realized I didn't bring my heat gun over, so I'll have to grab that. Or I might, well, let's see. Okay, so that's all of them. Then I'm going to grab my clear embossing powder. And I'm just going to put embossing powder on each of them. And you don't even have to worry too much about getting the extra around the edge, because, you know, if you have any extra, because for one, it's clear, and two, we're going to die cut the flower out, so it's not going to show that much. So I'm going to stack these up over the other side. There's Orchid Oasis. And if you do them all together like this, kind of production style, you'll, you know, it won't take so long. There's Daffodil Delight. I've got 3 more. There's Sweet Sorbet, Pumpkin Pie, and Highland Heather. Okay, now let me grab my heat gun quickly. I forgot to, that's over at my other. Let me grab that real quick, and we can do that. funny, I had it over here and I just moved it back because I was doing all this on my other desk. All right, so I'm going to turn this on and let it warm up just a minute. Hopefully you can hear me talking above the sound of it. So one thing I discovered is that you don't want to heat these, you want to be really quick. Once it starts to turn shiny, then you stop. If you overheat embossing powder, it'll lose its shine and it'll go back to a matte finish. And for some reason on this cardstock, it does that quicker than on white. So I'm going to start out, and hopefully you can see it start to change. And it goes. So that's one. It goes really quick once you get the heat going. That's two. See how quick it is? And you literally stop. As soon as it's all shiny, you stop. All right. So that didn't take long, did it? You can see how pretty they are. Then you're going to die cut them all out, and I do have them already die cut, but I'll show you one quick trick for cutting them out. Let's pick one. No, it's easy to see. So let me grab my mini die cut machine here too. If you have trouble lining up dies, I'll show you a little trick that you can do. My plates. So I cut out a flower just from black cardstock, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my base plate and my one clear plate, and I'm going to arrange this over my die, and it's easier to see, it's easier to line up than your metal die. So if I show you, bring this up to you can really see how to line it up very easily, okay? Then you will just take your die, which is right here, my little flower die. And I'm just going to pop that in. It's going to pop right in there, she says. There we go. And then I've got a little piece of tape that I'm kind of using like a hinge. And then we can just run that through. Oops. And then it should be perfectly cut out. And you haven't had to fiddle around with the metal die. And then what I do is I just take it off this piece. And like I say, I've got kind of like a little hinge here. I can just fold that back, and I can just grab the next one and do the same thing. Okay? And I can just keep this piece of cardstock, I can just keep this in with my dies or my stamps, and then I've got it there to use for another time. But you can do this with any die. It works really well with a bigger intricate die where it's hard to line up. Just kind of as long as it's like an outline die and not it has to be just an outline one. It can't have things in the middle here. Obviously, it would cut those out each time. So anyway, that's a little tip. So let me put these to one side, and I do have all the flowers cut out already. I did that ahead of time, so just because I knew I might go a little bit long today, I don't want to make you sit and watch me die cut them all. That would have been agonizing, wouldn't it? So put that back. All right, so let's see. Where is here's my card base, my matte layer. And I've got all my little flowers. Oh, here's my little pot with all my goodies. So here's all my flowers. And the only thing I need to do is I did some little black speckles in the center of them all. So I just used for that my black Stampin' Right marker, and I just used the skinny tip, and I'm just gonna do some little, you could also use like a black roller pen if you don't have them, or any, you know, fine tip, like a Sharpie, a fine tip Sharpie. I'm just doing some little dots. I could have done this ahead, I suppose. There is a stamp for the center, but I didn't want to introduce, I didn't know what color to do it, for one, and I didn't really want to introduce another color. I kind of liked the way these looked. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, make sure I have the right number. Okay, so the next step is to put them on. Now, on this one, I popped up every other one, and I think I'll do that this time, but I think I might flip it and do these, this one, this one, this one, and this one flat, and then this one raised, and we'll see if it makes any difference. So I'm going to do, let's see, let's arrange them all. There's that one. So the ones I'm going to do flat will be the Polished Pink, Pumpkin Pie, Tahitian Tide, and Highland Heather. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal, put those on first. And I can see which looks best. And you could do them all popped up if you like. So, and then you're just going to line it up over the stamped image. And the stamped image, don't forget, is a little bit smaller than the die, so it's easy to cover it up. Pumpkin Pie, Tahitian Tide. I've seen some really fun cards made with this set. I think it's really lovely. It was definitely on my list of ones I wanted, so I was really excited when it was actually on the pre-order list. Hi, Deborah. Good to see you. No worries. Okay, so then I need dimensionals on the other ones. Oh dear, sorry. I put, there's somebody at the door, I think. My husband's shushing her. I hung up the blanket over the banisters again to try and stop her from looking out, but she still saw something. All right, so let's make sure we get these in the right place. So this is Orchid Oasis. And when you heat emboss, it darkens the colors a little bit. So that's, you get that kind of darker area for the petals and then the lighter area where the cardstock hasn't been embossed. So now you can also, and I tried this too, I tried a few different things before I decided to do this. You can also stamp on the cardstock with the same color. And I have some samples to show you somewhere of doing that. It's not quite as prominent as when you heat emboss, but you could definitely do that too if you didn't want to do heat embossing. I had some that I saved. I'll grab those and show you in a minute. And then, like I say, I have one other card where I did something different. Oh, I was going to do splatters. I was going to do splatters with my pen, and I forgot on that one too, but never mind. All right, so that's all done. Let's attach it to, yeah, I was going to use my marker to do some flickage. I forgot. Never mind. Okay, so let's attach this to the black layer. So probably the heat embossing and die cutting the flowers takes the longest for this. I like how the flowers hang over the edge a little bit. I like doing that. All right, and then we'll put this onto the card base. And I finished the inside this time too. Sometimes I don't finish the inside. But so this one I did as a birthday card, but this one I'm actually going to do as a Mother's Day card. Because I need one. Oops, what am I doing? I was talking about the inside and I nearly stuck it on the inside. Silly me. So, and I like these dimensions too. I like a little bit of a wider border of the parakeet party. I'm not quite even there, but never mind. Is that on straight? Hi, Cindy. Thank you. Yeah, I like slimline cards. They're fun. Now, the only downside to a slimline card is that you do use more cardstock. You can only get one card base from a piece of cardstock. But I will show you what I did with the other piece in a minute. I used that on the other card that I'm going to show you. All right, so what's next? Let's do the, now I've done the sentiments already. So you have, as I showed you earlier, there are two dies for the words. So this is kind of like the shadow or the background, and then you've got the more detailed one. So I just die cut this from basic black, and then this is shimmery white again, and I did it with the adhesive sheets on the back. So I'll just pull that off carefully, and then we can stick this, and you kind of have a little bit of time to line it up if you don't push down too hard initially. So you can it's a little bit fiddly, but it's easier than dealing with, because it's so delicate, it's easier than dealing with liquid glue, I think. There we go. And then once you're happy with it, you can press down really well. You can even take like a block and kind of run it over. Now, you may notice the little, what's that called? Is it a tilde? No. Is it, what is the, I forget, there's a name for the little thing above the eye. Is it a tilde? Doesn't, no. I don't remember what it's called. But anyway, that is missing. Now, there's a couple of things you can do. I actually made sure when I pulled my die out, my paper cardstock out of the die, that it was still left in here. So only we can see it's still there. Oops, there it is. But if you lose it, you can, I've done this many times. I just put a little embellishment there. You could just put a little tiny pearl and it would be perfect. But if you still have that little dot, what I usually do is I'll just put a little tiny dot of glue. Oops, that was a big one. And then I'm just going to I'm going to take my pokey tool and I'm going to line my die up over this. And I'm just going to poke it out. Now it does have the adhesive backing on it, so I'm hoping it'll stick to the cardstock. So then if you just poke that through like that, then there it is stuck on there. So, but like I say, if you lose it, just either take a little white roll gel pen and color it in, or put an embellishment there. I think would look fine. All right, so let's position this. So I wanted to see how the positioning, because these are popped up, I was able to just put embellishments, dimensionals across the middle, and I thought I would try it this way. So this is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to have embellishments, dimensionals, different places. But I think I'm going to put the sentiment. What I did is I put the sentiment on first with this one. So I've got a longer sentiment this time. This one I made as a birthday card. This one I've got sunshine to brighten your day. And what's cool about the dies is they have these little dies that cut out the sentiments. You've got a longer one and a shorter one, which is brilliant, I think, because it's always tricky, isn't it, trimming your cardstock to really narrow. I love to put narrow sentiments like this, but it's a bit of a nightmare trying to do them on your trimmer and get them straight and hold the paper in there while it's so skinny cardstock. So I love that they've done this. So I'm going to think about this one. I had kind of tucked under, but there's not much room for me to tuck under this end. Let's see how I want to do this. I haven't really thought this out ahead. So I'll have to do it like this because otherwise my G is going to hang down over the sentiment. So let's go like this, I think. Now, I could put the sending up here. What do you think? Let me show you the other card and then we can decide. You can vote on where you want to put the sending. So here's the other card that I did. And so this one, let me put that to one side. What I did here is this green matte layer here is the rest of this sheet of cardstock. And I'm going to tell you how I did the flowers in a minute. But one of the sending up here or down here altogether. What do you think? Let me know. Those of you that are still watching. Do we like it here or here? What do you think? Anybody? Anybody got any strong opinions? I kind of like it down here because I like that white space up there, but does it look too busy down here? I kind of wish I'd done my dimensionals the same way as bottom. Okay, yeah. I think I like it at the bottom too. Hard choice, I like them both. Oh, Christine says at the top. Oh, hi, somebody from France. Bonsoir. Yeah, it's evening for you, isn't it? Comment ça va? I'll practice my French on you. All right, so we got one top and one bottom and one don't mind. So I'm going to make the final decision and I think I'm going to stick with the bottom. Sorry, Christine. So let's put this on. So I'll put this about here. Très bien. Bon. I did French for a long time in school, but I'm not very good at it. All right, so I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to go for it. And then this is going to go on like this. Maybe that needs to go just a little bit more this way. All right, and then I'm going to put dimensionals here, and I think that's probably going to be good. So I'm going to get some little ones. And then I'll show you how I did the flowers on the other card. And then what did I say? I need one on the bottom of the G. And a little bit of Stampin' Seal on there. All right, so let's take these off. And then the only other thing to do is the embellishments. So I'm going to use my tweezers here, I think. They're very helpful for lining things up. All right, so I think I'm going to do it just like this. There. That looks pretty. All right. Oh dear, now my phone's ringing. All right, now I need my embellishment. So I'm going to use some matte black dots. How many of you still have a landline? That's my landline ringing. Oh, thank you, Annie. Merci. She says, j'aime beaucoup le... Oh, well, I'm not going to read it, but she likes it. She says she likes it. She likes the result. Superb, she says. Thank you. All right. Whereabouts in France are you from, Annick, if you speak English? Okay, so let's do some of these. Matte, these are the matte black dots that I'm putting on now, because I thought black would be good on here. I used more than 3, so I think I'll go to town again. Usually I just do 3, but I'll put a few more on. And let's see, one more maybe. Right, maybe here, like on the other card. All right, so that's the card. And here's the other one. So what I did on this one is I actually stamped the flowers and I stamped the stems and die cut them. And then I stamped the middle the same color. But then what I did, thank you, Christine, what I did was, I don't know if you can see, they looked a bit flat to me when they stamped just on their own. So I took my markers, and you can use the Stampin' Right markers or the blends. And I just did a little bit of, added a little bit of shading. It kind of disappeared on the pumpkin pie, but you might be able to see it on the others just a little bit, where I did a little bit of shading. And I think that just, you can see on the pink one there, just added a little bit of extra dimension, because was just one solid color. And then the only thing I'd wish I'd done on here maybe was done the centers of the flowers with a white pen. But when I did these, I was going to put them onto the white background, and I was still kind of playing around. So, and then what I did for the sentiment here, instead of die cutting the 2, I stamped the word sending, because there's the word sending on the stamp set. So I stamped sending and then die cut it, stamped it onto white, and I actually embossed it. I heat embossed it with the black, and then I did smiles across the miles. So and then I did some white embellishments here. So 2 completely different looks, and this way is a great way to use up your other piece of your cardstock. Oh, and the inside, let me show you the inside. I won't take the time to do it now because we've already been nearly an hour. But this is what I did for the inside. So I stamped, maybe you can do it really quick. So let's see, grab my, I used this little flower. I'll just stamp it really quick because I want to do this one as a Mother's Day card. So I'm going to do 2 little pink flowers. Thank you for hanging in with me, everybody. Hello, Louise. How are you? Oh, good, Christine. I sent my sister, Christine's my sister, and I sent her some flowers because she had surgery, and she says they're looking lovely. That's good. Did those funny green buds flower? Or are they still green buds? There was a flower that we didn't know what it was, but it's kind of interesting looking. So just doing the center with the Orchid Oasis. There's a tiny little stamp for the center, which I have to be careful not to lose. And then I'm just going to stamp a couple of stems with that smaller stem stamp. So we'll do one like this. Oh, this set is next on your list, Louise. I know, it's really pretty, isn't it? And I love all the different options you have for the sentiments. Oh yes, send a photo, Christine. All right, so that's that. And then I'm going to stamp Happy Mother's Day. And this is from Now this sentiment, Let's Celebrate You, is from this set, Celebrate Sunflowers. And I was looking for a font that might go. I thought this kind of went with the mixed font like this. And Happy Mother's Day is kind of similar with the mixed font, scripty font, and then the plain. So I thought that would go. I wish this was just a little bit bigger, but it's fine. So I'm going to stamp that. Happy Mother's Day. Might stamp it kind of over here. As it's smaller, I'll stamp it towards the flowers. Oops, I think that's a bit crooked. Never mind. Close enough. Hi, Kathleen. Just got up from a nap. Are you still not feeling good? I'm so sorry. All right, so let's attach this. And this piece is 8x3, so it's the same as the matte layer on the front. Okay, so we've got Sending Sunshine to Brighten Your Day, Happy Mother's Day. So I think that's nice. And then there's this one, which is Birthday Wishes, Let's Celebrate You. And then this one I haven't finished the inside for, Smiles Across the Miles. I'll find something good to put in that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed those today. Zoom out just a touch. Throw away my messy stuff. So I'll be back next week with some more goodies from the new catalogue, and I hope you'll give this a try or something similar. If you don't have this stamp set, if you have another flower stamp set with flower dies, you could maybe give this a try. And let's see. Oh yes, envelopes. Thank you for the reminder. So we, I'm a little scattered today. Stampin' Up sells these slimline envelopes. You can get a pack of 15, and there's 3 different colours. So there's a white, a grey, and this soft succulent. But I thought we could use the white one. It's got this pretty lining inside. But this will work perfectly for these ones. Yeah, so thank you for the reminder, Louise. Yeah, and this will fit in a regular business envelope too. But it's nice to have a pretty one to use. So that'd be perfect. Yeah, so these are in that. These are, oh, I think they might be in the mini catalogue. They're in one of the catalogues anyway. They're on the website. But I'll post all the, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll post all the supplies under my video. So anyway, thanks again for joining me. Sorry I'm a little scattered today and I've gone a little long, but I hope you enjoyed the cards, and we'll give some of the things I did a try, and have a great rest of the day, and I'll catch you all next week. Bye for now.